Hello everybody and welcome to Paint with Mark. It's 2020 and let's start painting. I thought today we'd create a beautiful sunset scheme, some really nice pastel colours and some black trees and some sort of like shadows of some houses, and that really in the dark though, so it really stands out the background colour. So with that said, let's crack on. So the colours that we're going to use in today will be phthalo blue. We've got cadmium yellow, red, brown, dark sienna, brown, black and titanium white. And I've got a little bit of thinners in here just to wipe off the excess. Now I've got a bit of canvas board today, bit of canvas board that I'm going to be painting on. It's a 16 by 20 canvas. It's all primed, ready to go, so let's start, guys. So hopefully you won't get too much of my head in the picture. You should be able to see what I'm doing up here. I'm just going to sort of do a little line just for sort of like where the sky is going to finish, sort of like a horizon line here, just along here. So nothing too drastic. And we've got sort of trees coming up here, little tree there, and I'm going to have a tree coming up there. But I want to create this beautiful sky. So I'm just going to go into just a little flat brush. I'm just going to touch the side of a little bit of thinners just to get it a little bit wet, and then I'm going to touch it on a bit of tissue. Then I'm going to go into the phthalo blue, and the phthalo blue is really strong, so I'm going to tap it in there. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of phthalo blue down and sort of mix it down here, and it's like really bright and powerful. So I'm just going to add a little bit of white and mix that in with it just to give it a start, and then I'm going to come up to my canvas up here. I'm just really going to get this in, just put it across, get a little bit darker up in this corner here. And all I'm doing is just little crisscross strokes really. I'm just sort of blending on the canvas. So I just want this a little bit darker up here. And it's going to come across. As I come across this side, I'm just going to add a little bit more white, just to fade this down a bit more. Just a little bit of thinners. A bit more white in there, better. I just want this to become gradient, a little bit darker, and then as it comes across here a little bit light. I'm just going to dance this around backwards and forwards and literally come down. Like so. Get a little bit more. Just a touch of thinner again, a little more. So I want it sort of like, not too runny, but want it thin enough so it spreads across the canvas. Just add more all the time. And I'll bring it down to about around this area here. Just sort of fade out to nothing. Backwards and forwards. Just little crisscross strokes. Lovely. So as you can see, it's gradually coming down light in this area here, and then down there, and I'll leave that little bit there, and just a little bit down here, a little bit of blue. A bit of white. Just down here. Yeah, a little bit across there. Yeah, so I think that's really nice dark. I'm going to put a little bit more dark up here so it really sort of stands out in this corner. Lovely. That's nice. And then once I've done that, I'm just going to brush across just with a soft, little soft brush. I'm just going to brush across the whole lot just to smooth out some of these sharp lines. Not running too much, like so. Now I'm going to go into some alizarin crimson. I'm now just going to go into a little bit of a thinners, and literally I'm just going to wiggle that around and just remove it from my brush. So now I'm going to go into, again, just a corner or a little bit of thinner. I'm going to go in a little bit of alizarin crimson, the red, and again always pick up a bit of white just to thicken it up a little bit. Be a nice sort of pinky colour. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to create a nice sort of pinky colour in this area here. Just a beautiful sky, and where some of this alizarin crimson will mix in with the blue, just blend it up with the blue, it becomes a sort of purpley colour, which is nice. A bit more white, so it becomes a nice sort of purpley colour. Wash it around, sort of like cloud sort of shape. I'm not worrying too much about what it looks like. Again, it's just lovely distant clouds, just blending into a little bit of swirling, but mainly I'm just trying to get some colour on here. That's the main thing, get some of this lovely colour. Soft, beautiful crimson colour. Like so. So we've got a lovely crimsony colour. I'm going to put a little bit over here as well. A little bit of crimson coming in from here. I might have a little bit coming down here as well. Just a touch. You can see sort of distantly clouds going on, and again they're all fluffy. You know, I haven't got to worry too much about what they look like. They're just fading out into the distance. They're just there, sort of thing. This one was really powerful. I might get a little bit of white on there and just tone this down a little bit. If you find it's just too much, just tone it down a little bit with some white. I'm just doing crisscross strokes. Just crisscross strokes. Let's bring some down here. Just blending. As I just create different planes, now I've added the white on top, it just adds different planes, so it looks like this more in a distance. And again, I might soften these down a little bit more. Just add a bit more thinners, and these are just softened a little bit more. Back. Make it a little bit lighter, so they sit back a little bit more. I wanted the contrast between the blue and that colour, so. And then down here, I'll add a bit more. Again, I'm just using what I've got on the brush. I'll come right across here. Again, just crisscross strokes. Just crisscross strokes. And again, you can keep, when it dries a bit more, I can keep adding more layers on top of there, which I may do. I may get a bit more white now, and again we can just do crisscross strokes again. So I'm going to have more highlight up here, so as if the sun is catching perhaps on this part here, and maybe a little bit up here. Just a few little bits here and there, just to add a little bit more. And again, there may be just a little bit of light catching just on the top there, is perhaps. I keep it dark underneath. So that's that part. And now I'm going to just wipe this, and I'm going to go into a little bit of yellow, touch a little bit thinner, a little bit yellow, cadmium yellow, and this is really bright. I'm just going to run that all the way along here. Add a little bit of white to it, licking it up. I'm just literally just going to run this all the way along here. It's a nice background. Add a bit of white, a little bit thinner. Just crisscross stroke here. Some colour. Nice bright yellow. Just mix it with this. Again, this is in the background of the trees, so you're not going to see a lot of this, but it's nice to put this colour in now, because it will add to the effect. And I'm going to bring this up a little bit over here as well, into this. I'm just scrubbing it into there at the moment, and I think it'll look nice if I get a little bit of the yellow, a little bit of thinners, a little bit of the yellow, put it on here, a little bit of the red, a little bit of white, a little bit more red, a bit yellow, a bit white. So I'll create this sort of orangey colour, and I'm just going to run a little bit of that up as well, and I'm going to run that across like so. It's a lovely bit of orange colour. It's got this beautiful sort of a bit of an orange hue running through these as well. It's nice there, and I think I'm going to add in a bit of a orange coming in the background here, so you've got this nice little bit of an orange colours coming in underneath there. And then down here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill in the whole lot with dark. So I'm just going to wipe my brush, a little bit of thinner, and then I'm just going to take black and take it into the same colour mix, and then I'm just literally going to run that across, a little bit more thinner. And what I'm going to do like building silhouette of buildings. So what we're going to do, we're just going to pull this along here first of all, just to get some sort of straight line. So what I'm going to do is I just go a little bit of thinner, a bit of black. I'm just going to do a nice straight line. So again, it hasn't got to be perfect. I just want to get some sort of line in there, a little bit of brown. I'm just going to fill this in. Again, you can fill this in with a roller if you wanted to, you know, a nice little roller. Just get this done. black, a little bit thinner, just so it spreads nicely. I want it really dark so it really stands out the pastel colours that I've created in there. So hence I'm putting a dark in, brown, black, a little bit thinner. And literally I'm just going to, I should use a bigger brush really, but we'll crack on with this one. So you can see what I'm doing. Now these brushes are just a cheap set of brushes, nothing special. And they're not expensive set or anything like that. I think these were from like a little hobby craft shop. In English money I think they're £3. There's about $4 or $5 in US. Again, all I'm doing, I'm just getting black and brown and I'm just literally filling in this dark area. I just want this dark area filled in, and as I'm doing it you're getting sort of lighter and darker streaks, which is okay because where some light is coming down from the sunset is good. And all I'm doing literally is just wiggling it backwards and forwards like so. Thinner, and just fill it up. I think that's virtually covered. I'm just going to straighten that line out a little bit more. So bear with me what's in my head. So I'm just going to come along here. Now, so basically that's all this bottom off is covered. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put little building shapes in the distance. You can hardly make them out, but I mean you can use the big brush. I'm probably going to use a little round brush, one of these little round brushes, and I'm going to go into the same colour, a little bit thinner, and a little bit of dark. Again, these are in a distance, and so there's no detail. Okay, so I'm just really just gonna do little shapes, little square shapes, like so, and then maybe like a chimney pot. Literally, it's just little shapes here and there, just to make your eye think that there's something going on in the distance, like far distance. So they're just little sort of really basic square shapes really. So some bigger than others, so I'm going to take some along here, make some longer ones. Down, not just touch it there and there, all the way along here. Just these sort of shapes, little shapes that you can't quite make out what they are, but you can see there's something going on. Make it a couple a bit bigger, a bit taller, and then I'm just going to run the brush underneath here. I may do one more at the end there, slightly bigger one, just so you can get the idea what's happening. Like so. Again, I'm just going to fill it in so it just blends in with the dark colour. So there's like distance buildings that are there, okay, but you can't really make out what they are, and so on. Let's have a couple more up here. And literally it's just dots and dashes. That's all I'm doing, dots and dashes, little square bits and pieces, just to fill in, okay, bits here and there. And then at the bottom I'm just running my brush all the way along the bottom there. Lovely, that looks nice. So you can see now it's really contrasting against the light and the dark. So I'm just going to wash my brush, Just put it in a bit of thinners. So the first thing we're going to create a few distant trees, and I'm going to use like a little tiny pointy brush, very thin pointy brush, and I'm going to make it a little bit lighter. So I'm going to do the first one over here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go into a little bit of thinners. I'm going to use this lot of sort of darky mix, but we're going to come into some white. So I'm going to come into some white so it becomes a sort of grey colour. So we've got a grey colour coming on here. Let's have a look what that looks like. That could be okay. Yeah, it could be okay. So I'm just going to spin this round around, and basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to come off here, and we're going to have like the main branches. I'm just going to lift off here, just going to come straight up and out. Lots and lots of these very faint, small branches that are going to come off, and I hope you can see that in the video. It is quite light, but the reason I want it quite light is because obviously we're going to get darker and thicker ones as we go on. So basically all I'm doing branches, and I'm mainly pointing them upwards. So I'm doing the main part. I might darken that just a bit down here. So if I darken it just a little bit, you might be able to see it a bit better. But I'm actually angling all these parts here like a sort of hand shape, like a sort of bush sort of shape. And then we're going to go in with, I think we're going to go in with a nice small, it's sort of small brush, but it's quite hard. The bristles are quite hard. And all I'm going to do is just going to tap into a bit of thinner, and then I'm going to come into some black and into some brown, and I'm literally just going to tap it down on there. Then very lightly I'm just going to tap around the edges, around here, to create the shape of some texture on this tree. And again, as I'm tapping down, it's just opening the bristles. If I tap hard, you get a few darker ones. So I'm just going to tap out. I'm going to go into a bit of light mix as well, and tap some lighter foliage in there as well. So you got your first one there, and then the next one I'm going to use in the same brush as what I did before. I'm going to use the little thin pointy brush, but this time I'm going to go into a little bit more dark. So it's the dark brown and black, and just spin it around. So sort of nice sharp edge, and you can either go up or come down. I'll come down from here, so I'm going to wiggle this slightly, just bring this down, go into some more colour, and again you can go over this a few times. If it's not thick enough, you can just go a couple more times over the same point, but always make it sort of like ink consistency. And then from here I'm just going to take all these branches, I'm going to take going up very thin, just all pointing up, and don't forget to wiggle these. And at the ends I like to do like little wires or little hooks at the end of these, which makes it look obviously more realistic. So quite a few of these pieces coming on. Lots of these little hooks. Go into some more thinners. Always go into thinners and reload the brush up each time. Just take this up a little bit higher. Thicken it up a little bit. So I always do these little hooks at the end, it just looks more realistic. There we are. So that's our second tree, and again this one we're going to tap in, and I think this time what I might do is use this soft fan brush, and again I'm just going to use dark, so I'm going to go into a little bit of thinner, pull some black down and some brown. I'm just going to literally just tap it into the mixture, and then I'm going to tap it upwards, so all the foliage is actually tapping upwards like so. Obviously it will be at the ends of where you've done the actual branches, they will be sticking out on the ends too, so the same sort of shape and formation. And again, I'm not doing too many, just enough, because we don't want to lose it. We just want to get the general idea of shape. You've got some sort of foliage putting out there. Yeah, I like that. I like the way that that's created, these little dots, little like leaves hanging around, but make sure that you angle it the same way as the branches. So I'm going to do a couple down there. Yeah, let's add another branch a bit lower. I'll just come a bit lower with this one here, just very thin, maybe one over this side as well, and then I'll add a little bit more foliage into that. Just tap very lightly. Yeah, nice, I like that. Actually, I'm just going to darken this one. I don't like this too much, so I'm just going to darken this a little bit to stand out a little bit more. Lovely. That's nice, I like that. So I'm going to do another little one in the distance here. Again, using the same little brush, go into this mixture. So I'm just going to pull a small one up now, a little tiny one up here, just not from here. So just wiggle this around. That's it, like so. And then as where I've turned it, I'm just going to come off like so. A bit thicker. And again, this is just a distance tree. Might make down the base a little bit darker on these, because I want these to blend in with the bottom. So just a little bit darker down the base there. And again, just a few. This is just a few little branches on this one. So bring them out, wiggle them, and as you get to the end, again, a few little wires, very small, very thin. And if the paint's not sticking, you just need to make it a little bit thinner. That's all it is. You just literally just have to make it look thinner. Otherwise, it just won't stick, and you won't get these little thin parts to it. Okay, so that's all it is. You just need to flick out. I'll make it a little bit thinner. So I'll do a nice, much bigger one now. I'm going to go into some black, into some brown. I'm still going to use this little brush. I'm still going to use a little brush. I'm just going to come up a little bit taller here. So I'm going to take this one right up here, something like so. Okay, and again, I will go over it. So into the thinner. Let's go back over this. Again, don't worry if you're shaking. If your hand's a bit shaky, that's a good thing, because obviously most of the trees aren't grown like telegraph poles. I'm just going to extend this one out a little bit more, a bit thinner at the top. Pieces. And where I wobble it is where I have these going up, so I'm going to just make this a bit nice and even. It's the same sort of thickness all the way up, apart from down the bottom where obviously it's usually thicker. And then I'm going to come out with my branches again. For these ones, they're all pointing up, so I'm going to start from here and just literally take these lovely bits going up. And if they don't show enough, like I said, you can always add some more colour on there. Go back over these lines. So let me show a bit more. And again, I'm deep with these particular trees. I'm just having all the branches on this particular tree. They're all pointing upwards. So I'm just going to wiggle. Again, make sure we've got enough thinner. Spin it around in with the colour. Otherwise, as I said, it won't spin on the canvas and you will struggle to get your very fine lines that we're looking for. Like so. And again, I'm just going to continue to do these very small and thin. Some are thinner, some are fatter pieces. And don't forget to add a few of the branches that go over the main branch itself, because it adds more realism to it. It makes it much more realistic. And again, I'm just doing these very thin, whispery pieces that are coming off this tree. I think I'll do a little bit more on this one. Come up. Yep, that's nice. So obviously you've got this lovely bigger one. And again, with these dark trees, it contrasts with the beautiful pastel colour in the distance. And I think what I'll do, I will use that fan brush again, because I really like the way that it created that sort of foliage shape. So I'll go into a little bit thinner. I'll come to the black and brown, and I'll just tap. Okay, and then I'm literally just going to touch. I'm going to tap it on a bit of tissue first. Yep. I'm going to tap it a bit more, open the bristles up a bit more. And again, I'm just literally following the shape at the ends. Put a few in there. It's great, it's a lovely shape. Looks like a little bit of foliage, like most of the leaves have come off. Just a few here and there. Hopefully you can see that on the video. Again, this is just a soft, we don't want it nothing too powerful, because the next tree I'm going to put in is going to be more dense and more dark. So I'm going to put a big one in here now. I might use a slightly thicker brush. Yeah, just use a little flat brush. I'm going to go into some, just this time, just jet black or ivory black, or just black. And I'm just going to put this in. It's not going to be that big, but I'm just going to put it in, come down, go, give it a wiggle and down. Okay, and then from there I'm going to have a few of these lines coming down here, and one coming out here. Yeah, nice, nice. Go into a little bit thinner, spread that out. Actually, I might have a little very thin one coming in here, another one here. I'll make that slightly thicker. That's it. And then I'm going to go into the slightly thicker rounded brush, bit thinner, bit of black. Just going to go over these just to make sure they're nice and dark. So I want a bit of black. These are going to be covered up anyway with some foliage, but I just want to nice and dark. Right, and I go back into the thin little round brush. And I just put a few branches and so on there. And I'm going to same thing going. I'm going to point them all up, all going up, all pointing upwards. Just quite a lot of these. Again, they're all going up this way. So I think that'll do. And this time I think we're going to use the, let's have a look, just a soft brush, just a soft round brush, and literally I'm just going to go into a little bit thinner, tap into this dark mix, literally get quite a lot of this dark mix, and just literally going to tap it, open up the bristles, and then I'm just going to come up to the edge here and just literally just tap around this foliage, and creates these beautiful effects. But I want to darken it in a few places, so I'm just going to push a bit harder. In a few of these places, just to make it more dark, so it just changes the way it looks. You can see the beautiful, lovely way this brush creates foliage. And I've hardly done anything really. Last thing I've done, I'm just going to get my brush. I'm just going to tidy up down the bottom here, because I just want to make sure it's dark on the bottom here, just where these trees meet, this dark colour. Lovely. I just sort of always start, so it really makes it contrast out a little bit different. So, with that said, guys, I hope you followed along with this little tutorial, and I think it's a lovely, simple, easy picture to do, but it really does stand out where you've got the dark contrasting against those beautiful colours. So it's Mark Terrell with Paint with Mark signing off. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe and share, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you. Bye bye.